9 videos to Madiera. So let's get a wee bit more light here. So what's happening? Unfortunately, we've got a bad injury update from this week, including competition update from this week as well. Registration for Madiera has taken place. We are now official, and I'm now registered as a Masters athlete. So we'll be talking a bit about that, and yeah, we're going to be talking about the change to the plan in the final, the ultimate part of this season. So to recap, where we come from, now Masters athlete in athletics, trying to get back to my top form and break new grounds, get back to the shape of my life after having previously been sprinting on and off for about 15 years, but never really got very far with it. And the goal that I've set is to compete in the European Masters Championships in Madeira, Portugal, this October, and then that's grown as the years gone on. I've decided to specialise in the decathlon. So decathlon's the 10 events, a combination of sprinting, running, jumping, and throwing, and yeah, so we're getting quite close now. So really quite frustrating, and I am angry at quite a lot of different things. Even this video series has been held up and frustrated by just problems with uploading it. Trying time and again to upload things to YouTube, and it just failing to upload, and having all these videos backlogged and the descriptions all ready to go, and actually losing some of them because I thought they'd uploaded and they'd not, and then deleted the original videos off my phone. So yeah, that's why we're running behind, and we're going to condense some of the last 9 videos into a shorter time period in the lead up to Madiera. And given what's going on injury wise, I could actually do with the extra time. So injury, I think last night, so I had a session with the physio, which was in the last major update, where the diagnosis was patellofemoral strain, repetitive strain injury through the kneecap. And the solution to that is just to rest up a bit, to foam roll a bit, and to strengthen some of the stuff around it, which I did, and it didn't seem to really work. And I had another session yesterday with Grant Brown, hashtag London High Jump, and he was like, right, okay, well, he sent me some resources, and looking through some of those, I actually think I've got what's called fat pad impingement syndrome, or infrapatellar bursitis impingement. So instead of just being strain of the muscles, it's actually that there's this fat pad, this kind of cushion that lies under the kneecap, is actually getting caught and snagging under my kneecap, and that's what I've noticed. Like when I straighten the knee out, it kind of clicks, and the kneecap kind of clicks and jumps, and that would be more classical of an impingement. And unfortunately, again, the etiology, like the pathophysiology, how this evolves, is actually often to do with the knee being in a constant fixed position for a while. And unfortunately, I think that's true for me with a lot of the driving that I've been doing. I have mentioned it once or twice before that I'm often driving for 2.5 hours at a time, going to a competition or coming back, and the car I've got is actually really unergonomic, and it's actually kind of hard for me over 6 foot to fit into that. And I think that's what's actually causing that impingement. So that penny's really only dropped last night, and the episode picture is me strapping the kneecap, so it just looks like I've strapped around it, and you're like, what does that really do? Technically, what I've actually done is just lifted the kneecap up a bit. So the kneecap sits here, so the joint of the femur and the lower knee is like this, and then the kneecap slides over the top like that. But then in here, under the kneecap, there's actually the fat pad, and if that gets inflamed, that can creep up round the top, and then it can actually go under, sneak under the kneecap, and I think that's what's going on. So a quick AI search suggests that it's like 8 to 10 weeks to recover from that. I'm really annoyed because I've been training through this for the most part, where I should have actually rested up. Um, I should have probably been icing when it flared up badly, and I'm currently icing. If I can flex my leg up, there. Got some frozen frozen berries on there. I could have been icing, and I could have been avoiding the car as much as possible. So yeah, I paid a good £100 for that physio assessment. I don't think it was the full deal. I think he was close, but I don't think he got the real deal. And yeah, I mean, you could say, well, he was saying, well, I want to see you back in a few weeks' time. And I was like, right, well, no, I think I've got the diagnosis. I'll go away and do what you've said. But there's no guarantees that if I did go back to him that he'd be like, oh, well, it's not getting better. Let's look at it again. Or maybe it's actually impingement of the fat pad. And again, I can't say for sure it's the fat pads. I haven't got an MRI scan. I don't really have time to get an MRI scan. I mean, you're talking months on the NHS. And the treatment would only be physio and resting anyway. So in terms of physiotherapy follow-up, I've got the option of going to a new different physiotherapist, but every time you go to a new one, you have to do the first consultation, which is much longer, where they do the full background, or go to a physiotherapist that I've been to before in Glasgow or Northern Ireland that does know me, but at the moment that would just be a remote call, so they wouldn't really be able to do the full assessment, so a bit tricky there. So it's all a bit raw and fresh, but how's this affected me in competition today? So today was the final Southern Athletics League match in here in Norwich, so that was really quite convenient. Yeah, I could just head out here 11:30 on a Saturday after I've done the rest of my morning, go and do some competing and back here for 2:30, get on with the rest of my day, no travelling around. So I was down for the hammer, the shot, and the pole vault. I was obviously most hesitant about the pole vault because I've had to pull out a pole vault training with this impingement. Hammer went fine. I was hoping to PB at 20 metres. I was at like 18 or something like that. Didn't quite connect on it. My mind wasn't really in it. I was too busy thinking about the work stuff that I'd been working on before. Hadn't really got in the zone, but got some good points for the team. Always enjoy a bit of hammer, and yeah, I actually felt quite strong. So that's good. And then shot, so didn't get very far. Kind of 8 metres 50. So not like the 9:89 that I was doing in competition back in the spring. So I still think 10 metres is there. But yeah, I only did 2 throws out of 3 because then I was going to the pole vault, and I literally did one pole vault try, and my knee immediately flared up. So yeah, I don't know if that's because I strapped it last night and it was unused to it. I did do quite a full warm up before the shot. Who knows? So that was today. So I'm just going to have to leave that aside for just now, and then we'll come back to today's performance and evaluate it later. Had a really good session yesterday with Grant down in London. We focused mostly on long jump, starting to incorporate a kind of hang. We experiment with different kind of in-air mechanics. So once you jump, are you cycling the legs in the air, or are you kind of flopping back and then forward? So that's known as the hang. Then you've also got like the half hitch kick, like that, and then you've also got the double hitch kick. I don't think I've really got enough air time to do the double hitch kick, but these actually allow you to stop forward rotating and actually give you more time in the air and allow you to do a leg shoot, which, you know, these techniques can really add length to your long jump. So I'm already quite excited about that. I'm already excited to try and implement some of these back in training and see if I can really transfer that into competition. We were using like a springboard to help with my knee, which was helpful. And we also did some high jump as well, just tinkering with some of the basics of getting a good lean as I'm going round, and yeah, just focus on the run, on the approach, because that's something that I've essentially been not working on very much, and just kind of a lot of that's been off. Um, so again, quite constructive stuff. Again, I think that training's really valuable. It's quite a big investment of time and money to spend like, most of a day going down, and again, it's like £100 for a couple of hours. So uh, yeah, but good, really good input. And the follow up after that's good. You know, you get the videos back. He often maybe runs that stuff by his kind of fellow coaches. Said, "Oh, what do you think of this here?" And anything you would add to the advice I'm already giving Matt and stuff. Um, so he's really good, Grant. You know, he's worth the money. Um, so So yeah, also just the work stress. I'm angry at the effect that that's had. I think it's been disproportionate uh, the effect that's had on me and in my athletics. So where does it leave us just now? Really, as soon as I hit the ground, hit the mat in the pole vault today, the Kent Combined Events Championships, which in 2 weeks really flashed before my eyes. I'm like, right, well, is this really something I can do? Uh, I'm not cancelling it already, but I think by the end of this week, unless I'm feeling a lot better by the end of this week, then I'm going to cancel it and just focus on the Eastern uh, Combined Events Championships, which is a month from now, which doesn't involve any high jump, doesn't involve any pole vault, and doesn't involve any hurdles either. So would be much lighter on the knee, and then Madiera itself, and make sure that I'm all hunky dory for that. So if that's what we end up doing, that's really quite a come down from what I was thinking, because this Kent Combined Events Championship is actually technically at a higher level than the European Masters Championships, even though it's only a county championship. It's like a full senior championship that gets me a senior mark, and being the last one of the season, I think there's probably going to be a lot of guys there um, try to get a good PB, and yeah, in Madeira, sure, it's an international event, and it'll be great, but it won't be the full hurdle heights, and I can only really use that as an indicator of where things are at. I can't say um, that's a necessarily reproducible number. So this is it. Being a masters athlete, I think you have to be really quite to hold some things quite lightly and be able to say, actually, I'm willing to scale down my expectations. One of the reasons that I booked in so much stuff at this point in the season is so that there's different options. I can do something a week later if I'm not free, then I can. If I'm not free for one, I can do another. Um, it does beg the question: do I go down to Kent and say, well, I'm going to at least just try the first day, and if things flare up really badly, I can not turn up for the second, because it might be that just going there, getting that experience, maybe setting a couple of personal bests, might just make all the difference. So more on that, and yeah, all it remains to be done is just to go and lie in my bed, uh, rest up here. I've got my tape. I'm going to get some support from some bands I'm going to order online, and design a program for the next 6 weeks, until we get to Madeira. I haven't booked my flight yet, but I've booked the championship, if you like, and hired the poles and stuff like that. So yeah, we're still gunning for it. Um, it's not too little, too late, but it's all coming down to the line, and yeah, I just think I've just got 6 weeks grace. Um, I've got a grace period here where I can salvage something good. Uh, and yeah, just this week talking to Conrad, the elite decathlete that's competing in Norwich. He's got a bad hamstring injury that's had him out, and he's just doing he's doing some events that he in the throws, but he isn't really doing any running, and trying to get ready for October, to do some hard winter training. So he's got the same sort of time scale as me, and seeing how he's coping with that. It's been helpful. He took like a full 4 weeks off or something like that, where he just didn't do anything, which I've not done, and it's tempting to do at this point. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of throws work, a lot of pull work, and a lot of scientific based rehab in the next 4 weeks at least. So stay tuned.